Hi everyone, come rock out with me, Royal Mustache, on episode 5 as we visit my very first retro game con in Syracuse, New York. Let's take a tour of the entire event space, which included a Baldur's Gate 3 reunion and a free play area with retro video game consoles, retro PCs, and arcade cabinets. And finally, my favorite part, hunting for games. Let's look through probably what seemed to me like thousands of games as I look to complete my Atlus collection on the PlayStation 2. I only need a few more. The heavy hitters are left over for me. Alright, so stick around towards the end. I'll show you guys what I picked up and some gameplay footage I captured. Okay, without any further delay, we're going to walk in. Here we go. All right, as we walk in, first thing you'll notice is they have this really cool area set up for like retro 90s look. This literally almost looked like my parents' basement growing up. We didn't have the wooden walls, but we had everything else pretty much set up the same way. All right, as you first walk in, you'll see the entire Baldur's Gate reunion, like whatever this billboard kind of thing. Really cool. I'm a huge Karlach fan. I'm honestly only there for her, although I do love everybody else in the game. But Samantha Beart, right there, she's my favorite. She actually signed. I brought two things with me. She signed like a photo that was provided to me, and then I brought one of my magic cards with me, and you'll see here in a second. So this is what she signed. Don't poke the Karlach, which is pretty awesome. Then I brought my magic card, and I had her put on Hey Soldier and sign it for me. Okay, as we continue the journey here, you'll see tons of video games. I mean, there's this is my first game conference, and wow, shocked. For me personally, my favorite part about this, even though there's millions of plushies and everything going on here, for me it's the video game hunting. I'm literally on the lookout to close out Atlus as like the publisher for me for my PS2 collection. But you guys know, I probably say in every video, PS2 is my favorite console. Although I did grow up on the Sega Master System and Sega Genesis as a child, I really didn't get into it in terms of my own money, buying my own stuff, and buying and trading and that kind of thing when I was younger, until I got to the PS2. So you see here we have a whole bunch of areas for like guys playing some games. I didn't actually check that out. I forgot about that part. There's just so much to see, and even though I was there with my wife for about 3 days, it wasn't enough time. I really wanted to play Guitar Hero with this dude. Every time I walked by, someone was on it. Right there was my only shot, really. This was on Friday, and Friday was definitely a little bit more light. Saturday was insane, out of control in terms of people, but it was still a great time. So as you go through, oh, cool, look at that guy. I'm just showing you here like the retro like video game area. So I had consoles from like Sega Master System. I had some obscure ones, like some old school Atari ones. Um, I couldn't help myself. I ended up playing a few games with my wife here a little bit later. But as we go through, you'll see they did a great job here setting up all these consoles on all these TVs. Just the cable management, I was getting like I was just thinking about wow, all the cables and everything plugged in. This is insane. Um, yeah, but they did a great job. Even when something was not working properly or could have been improved on, you'll see some people with yellow shirts walking around just fixing stuff up, setting it all up. I thought it was I thought it was awesome the amount of detail that these folks paid over here, um, and the care. And look at Ada. I saw Ada walking about 3 or 4 times, and I kept yelling out Ada, and I'm sure she was really sick of me by the second or third time. I should have gotten a photo with her. Anyway, continuing along, still going through just like this area here. Dreamcast. Oh man, one of my favorites. One of these days I'll finish that collection. It's just there's so many games, so little hours. But anyway, you'll see here we're starting to see some PCs here, and this brings me back. I remember playing Fallout. I don't even know. I'm on the family computer, if you guys even know what that meant. Um, and it was to me seeing all this was great. What a great memory! A lot of great memories I had. All right, we're about to wrap up this area. and then we're gonna go see some more of more of like the rest of the area, like where all the booths and vendors are. Um, but I thought I'd share this part with you guys. Um, Also, really big area, really big space, and if you can see, I don't know, probably saw real quick, a lot of kids with their parents, which I thought was awesome. Hopefully, God willing, one day I'll have some kids, and I can bring them along with me. That'd be kind of cool. All right, so now we're just gonna go through some vendors real quick. I picked up a few games. It's just astounding how many games there are. So many that I've never even heard of. I spent lots of times here, not really with these plushies, although it was a pretty cool booth. I spent a lot of time hunting in this area called Cartridges Galore. They had enormous booth. They had so many games in here. It was super packed. I had to take my book bag off, throw it at the wife, tell her, wait for me out here. If you don't hear back from me in 2 minutes, call for help. There was a lot of people, but it was worth it. I picked up two, I think, from there that I was definitely on my list. And that's one thing. I come to these. Well, I shouldn't say come. This is my first conference, but when I go to like a flea market, or if I'm going to like what do you call those? Not a flea market. Um, like a bazaar. I forget what those are called. Outside, like where they have people with tents selling stuff. I usually bring a list with me because sometimes I'll see a whole bunch of games. I'm like, do I have it? Do I not have it? These are the ones I'm looking for. I've picked up so many times duplicate games. I think for this one specifically, I knew it was gonna be thousands of games. I brought a really big list, and I put down like kind of like prices, like the high end, the low end, just so I could see like, all right, comparing pricing here. And honestly, the prices here pretty much price charting on point, maybe a little bit below, some are a little bit higher. It was a mix and match, but overall, I thought it was awesome. Um, some of these booths were video game related, so like you'll see some people selling candles or like accessories for video games, which my wife, by the way, spent a third of our trip looking at all the pins, all the art, all the like video game related accessory kind of stuff. Um, Not licensed, but like homemade, I guess. I don't know if it's homemade, but it was really cool either way. A lot of people in costumes. I'm really upset. The last day on that, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I forget which day. I felt like it was the last day. There was a cosplay contest. So many people showed up. It was probably one of my favorite parts. But I was already a few drinks in. Totally forgot to hit record, and I was sitting back with the wife, just chilling out, clapping and laughing. Totally forgot to record it. So maybe next year I'll try to get some. I'll try to remember to record it. Spent a lot of time in this booth. I do have a large 360 collection. This guy had 360s, and under the table he had all the PS2 games. And I don't know if I had cut the audio from the original recording, but my wife is like saying to me, "Hey, you got to get on the ground on your knees, dude, and start hunting through those PS2 games," which I ended up doing. I did pick up one that I needed on my list. Um, but anyway, continuing right along. This was wild seeing all these people in costumes. This Orin right here from Baldur's Gate, this person in red right here, look to the records. I think she ended up winning. One, I think top three at least if I remember correctly. She had an awesome costume, and of course, for Baldur's Gate, I was rocking my pink Karlach T-shirt. I don't know if you guys know, I'm almost 6'2", about 300 pounds. So I was pretty big. And seeing me walking around with a Karlach pink T-shirt, I thought was pretty cool. Everybody was loving it. They had a really cool like, what do you call those machines you put money in and you get like little Japanese anime toys. That was a pretty cool area. That was pretty popular. Um, yeah. So this was a definitely a pretty cool thing for me. Experience. First time ever did something like this. And I'm gonna go more into like just some footage I captured of all the games that were it was just there. It was just incredible the amount of games. Um, I didn't spend nearly as much time as I had, even though I was there for almost 3 full days, going through every single one. I don't know. To me, that was just like the fun of the whole thing was what can I find. Um, but yeah, it was it was pretty awesome. Um, yeah, and you'll see here, I'm just like going through one at a time. My wife, I could see my wife in the corner of my eye, and she's real cool about it. But I also, we're there together as like a little weekend getaway, so I didn't want to just, forget she was there and just go after like looking for the stuff for myself. I did task her though. In all fairness, I did task her to try to help me out. Um, Even though Psyops isn't on wasn't on my list, it was a game I was trying to remember if I had. I know I had it when I was a kid. I think I saw it there for a few bucks. I think I ended up picking this up. I don't remember exactly. I had two book bags full of games. I'm only going to show you guys the Atlus ones because those are the ones I specifically went in there for. Um, all right, this was the hot table. I don't know if you saw that table, but I had all the super high end, expensive. I just can't bring myself to pay big money. I try to find them in the wild. I'll try to trade for them if anything, but some of those games like that Silent Hill 3 back there, man, I would I can't believe I sold that. I traded it in as a kid. And I wish I can just go back and get that game back. Now it's worth like $200+ for a game. I find that shocking. Um, Tons of Genesis, tons of cartridges. Like I was saying earlier, I did grow up playing the Master System and the Sega Genesis. I was more of a Sega kid. My mother specifically, was into a lot of the Genesis games like Sonic, and she loved Wonder Boy on the Master System and Penguin Land. I grew up playing those two games specifically, and she was my because of my grandfather, my mom. They were all about Sega. Oh, look at this! Check this out. I really was tempted to buy the Ghost Trap from the Ghostbusters. But I think it was like $60, and my wife was just gave me the little side eye, and I was like, all right, I guess we won't, guess we won't do that. A big part of the show was there were tons of records. My wife, before I met her, loved music. She has her own record collection. We're starting to or recollect for that. But these were just regular records. I mean, not video game related. Um, I personally was going to buy this Final Fantasy VII soundtrack on vinyl, and the guy in front of me had the last one in his hand online. I couldn't believe it. I saw it. I passed it up. I was like, if it's there again later, I'll pick it up. I just wasn't thinking about buying it. And then when I went to go buy it, of course, somebody had it online in front of me in their hand. Should have picked it up. Lost my place there. I saw this Sea of Stars vinyl. And I was like, oh, very cool, man. Ended up not getting it. Something else I'm probably gonna regret. And this was pretty cool. There was a whole bunch of I like how these guys put their Game Boy and game like the handheld games. They had them in like these little sleeves, which I thought was pretty sweet. There's my wife looking at all the little we call them tchotchkes. I don't know what you would call that, like little things. Um, it's very cool arcade cabinet like artwork and designs for the actual arcade systems. This I'm a big sucker for the turtles. Raphael's always been my favorite. Then of course we can't forget the cheapos. I've been looking for the cheap $1 boxes the entire time. Okay, we're almost done. We're gonna go through the what I picked up. I just wanted to show you guys real quick a tour of downstairs. Downstairs they had a lot of the cosplay areas, the food court. There were some panels that were down there. Really cool. I really, this is my first one, like I was saying early in the video, so didn't really know what to expect. I think next year, I think I may I don't really do the whole dressed up cosplaying kind of thing, but honestly, being there this time, I felt completely like underdressed. Like I was like, man, there's some. I felt like I was in the minority where everybody, and to my like, just from my memory, I felt like more people were in costume than not, and I was like, man, that's so cool, man. Um, yeah. So anyway, continuing, you'll see there's some panels, a cosplay lounge, and I try to sneak in. I don't know if I was allowed to walk in there. Um, Usually I would just walk in there, but my wife, she was giving me, she kind of like tames me. I don't know if the word tame is right, but normally I would just walk in and say, "Hey, what's up? Can I record you guys?" But I didn't want to embarrass anybody around I was with, so I was like, I'll just take some footage from the outside looking in. I don't know what was going on here, but it was a crowd, and there's one thing I learned living in New York. I just avoid these crowds. So I just walked by, recorded whatever was going on, and kept on my merry way, um, which was still pretty cool. Um, All right, then we're gonna look at the food court for a hot minute, and then we're gonna start. We're gonna go over to see the kind of games I picked up. Um, oh yeah, can't forget. Went to this Angus and Ale, this quick burger spot for dinner one night. Awesome, awesome food. All right, let's see what I picked up. All right, first up we've got Growlanser Heritage of War. This is a tactical RPG, and I'm obviously loving PS2 games, but I also love even more all RPGs on the PS2. Um, so what I usually do in my videos, if you guys are new here, is I usually go through the opening up the game, checking out the manual, which I'm telling you, the manual to me there's no better time than the manuals of this generation. Some of the recurring themes you'll see here and on the next few games I open up, just the full color. Like I love getting into the lore. I guess I'm a huge nerd into that stuff, but hey, I don't care. I love it. Um, Funny thing enough, the Growlancer Generations, which is another game I have, and I'll throw in a quick screenshot of that, isn't published by Atlus. I always found that fascinating. But this is a game I've always wanted. Had it on the list, never had it, and yeah, uh, finally got it. Check out some of this really cool gameplay. Um, Let me know what you guys think.
Damn! Am I too late? How can I stop this fighting? The Grand Gale Kingdom of the South won't back down, and the people of Naelern of the North will die resisting them. The Earth is weakening, and they battle over scraps rather than solve the problem. But why? Why do people continue to fight? Why?
Okay, moving right along. We have Stella Deus, the Gate of Eternity. Another game that somehow fell off the radar for me. I don't know how I didn't have this game, but yeah, I didn't have it. And coming up on the gameplay, the cinematics are incredible. Oh boy, we have a sticker back here. Yeah, that's coming off. Oh, cool. It's with a tape. Oh, much better. One of my biggest pet peeves, and if you're watching this, you probably share the same affliction as me, is stickers on the art, stickers on the box, stickers on the disc. I just want to, you know, hurricane kick somebody in the throat. But cool. It was easy to come off. Um, Great manual again. We have here full, detailed, thick, hefty. Like it's got some good content. Whoa, nice, nice back art there with the registration card. Lucky me. I see an EB Games receipt. That receipt, which we'll see on the date, has traveled for almost 20 years to get to me, and to get to all of us. So I think we're all here together in this journey. But look at this! Look at this artwork. I mean, wow, incredible! The detail, full information on the game, really gets you into the lore. Um, grew up, literally just grew up memorizing manuals. All right, back to this receipt. Yeah, from Texas. Almost, what was that 2005? We could barely read it. Um, yeah, this thing traveled. It's got some mileage on it. And you know what? Gonna save it. Gonna keep it in here. It'll be a fun story. Maybe I'll forget in the next 20 years. Come back to it and be like, oh yeah, I remember this receipt. All right. Anyway, check out this gameplay, guys.
I still can't find any spirits. At this rate, Solemn will be nothing but desert. And the miasma is getting worse. I have to do something.
It's no use. I don't have time to collect more spirit energy myself. The miasma's closing in. I need more power.
All right, next up, Choro Q. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I've honestly never heard of this game. It was on my list. I had to do about 3 or 4 double takes to make sure this game was published by Atlus. Um, yeah, super wacky game. Like I said, never heard of it. You'll see in the gameplay, it's a racing game. You can go through, pick out all these different types of cars that have advantages and disadvantages depending on the course you're racing on. Um, Super quirky. I don't know if it's like the greatest game I've ever played, but it is definitely interesting. Um, Burn rubber baby. It's kind of ironic because I felt like the car I chose in the upcoming footage I captured of me playing was probably the slowest car. But it's all good. Anyway, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Continuing the trend of games made published by Atlus that I've uh, never knew about, we have Hard Hitter Tennis. One of those other games that first I was on my list. I had to make sure that it was actually published by Atlus. Um, Coincidentally, it's also I think this price I remember specifically because it was about $5. Not the most fun, but it was pretty fun. It does come with a complete manual and the registration card, which I thought, all right, that's a cool little bonus. But man, Atlus really tennis games, and then before this was a quirky race car game. I mean, I know they did some stuff in the early '80s on the NES, but talk about really trying to find yourself. um, you'll see the footage coming up. You'll see in the footage coming up. I'm not the greatest. It's funny because I'm actually not good at tennis in real life either. um, you'll see oh wow, this actually has a little broken tab here. But anyway, you'll see in the footage coming up. just like in real life. I'm not that good. I got lucky on my first ever serve in this game. Other than that, I was getting rocked. Enjoy, guys.
Nice course. She's concentrating. All. She has no intention of losing. She looks like she really enjoys tennis. 50-30. What a fantastic shot! A fine passing shot.
Now, this game, Magna Carta, is flipping awesome. I'm actually playing it right now, and look at this beautiful cover art. Another game made by Atlus, turn-based RPG style. Yeah, the game's not even in here. It's literally still sitting in my PS2. I was playing with it, I think, before making these videos. But going back to what I said earlier in one of my earlier reviews on some of the gameplay I captured, look at the artwork in this book. You're talking full color, full story, background story. This had to be almost 60, 70 pages of all the information you want for this game. And this game is sick. I don't know how to describe it. It kind of reminds me of, it's a very Final Fantasy X-ish in terms of graphics and gameplay. There is one really cool part of this the fighting mechanic is you have to hit the buttons in a certain combination and time it perfectly, or your moves will fail. And you'll see coming up. It's a really cool way to battle enemies. But anyway, yeah, this is Magna Carta, published by Atlus on the PS2. Awesome game. One thumb up. Enjoy, guys.
It was over before it started.
I can still manage.
Don't make me laugh. That all?
All too easy.
All right. Last but not least, we have Baroque. I really hope I'm pronouncing this right. This was a game I never heard of either, and surprisingly, it is the weirdest of all of them in terms of how the game is played. It's kind of like a dungeon crawler. It's kind of like Diablo meets, I don't know, some other really good RPG. In terms of those kind of elements, the controls took me a hot minute to, wrap my head around. Another game published by Atlus. Very, I don't know. It's the whole very unique style. I want to say of looting and discovering and dungeon crawling. The storyline seemed pretty cool. I only got maybe an hour or an hour and a half into it, but I want to say, out of all the games I've picked, this is a close tie with Magna Carta in terms of gameplay. By in this batch of games I picked up at the Retro Game Con. Yeah, kind of surprised by this game. Never heard of it, honestly, and it ended up being really cool. Anyways, check this out.
You are running low on vitality. When your vitality reaches 0, your health will start decreasing. Do you understand? Your life is chipping away. Eating hearts will replenish your vitality. The bottom floor here is 400 cubits underground. Don't die. Come down and burn your duty into your brain.
Well, there you have it, folks. Episode 5 in the books. My first ever Retro Game Con. Picked up some games on my PS2 list published by Atlus. Showed you some gameplay. Overall, if you watched it this long, thank you so much. It really does mean a lot to me. Would love it if you guys threw in a like. Subscribe if you feel inclined to. That's also awesome. And until next time, guys, see you later.